Good morning, students from Jimir sir. This is our second video lecture of chapter number 4, that is communication, e-commerce and outsourcing. In first video lecture of chapter 4, we have completed communication and some part of e-commerce. Today in this video lecture, we will discuss e-commerce and outsourcing. So, first of all, the question is there: requisite equipment for the successful implementation of e-commerce. 3 equipment you required for successful implementation of e-commerce. First is website, second is computer with internet connectivity, and third credit card or debit card. So let's discuss first website. For continuance of e-commerce development, management, maintenance and upgradation of website is must. In website, web means www, that is World Wide Web, while site means place. Website is address of a firm at World Wide Web. However, website is not any physical or geographical address, but it is an organized form of information provided by a firm which is made available online. Here first thing that you require, that is website. Website is your address at World Wide Web. Students, for continuance of e-commerce development, management, maintenance and upgradation of website is must. Here website is your address at www, that is World Wide Web. This is not your physical or geographical address, but it is an organized form of information provided by a firm which is made available online. यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि किसी भी कस्टमर को आप तक पहुँचना है तो वो आपकी वेबसाइट के द्वारा पहुँच सकता है, और आपने जो भी वेबसाइट के अंदर जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन रखी है उससे कस्टमर आप तक पहुँच जाएगा। ये एक ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसके द्वारा वर्ल्ड में बैठा कोई भी आदमी आपसे जुड़ पाता है। वेबसाइट बनाने के बाद उसको मेंटेन करना ज़रूरी है। बिज़नेस का डेवलपमेंट करना हो तो उसके लिए वेबसाइट को भी मेंटेन करना ज़रूरी है। सेकेंड थिंग दैट यू हैव टू रिक्वायर इज़ कंप्यूटर विथ इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी. The computers of the traders or customers must have internet connectivity for the purpose of purchase or sale or business activities in e-commerce. Student, second thing that you have to require, that is computer with internet connectivity. Nowadays computers are very important for e-commerce, and not only computer, you require internet connectivity. With internet connectivity, the activities of e-commerce becomes easier and you can easily connect with your customer and also customer connect with the trader. So second thing you require is computer with internet connectivity. Third is credit card or debit card. The traders are not familiar with one another in e-commerce, so the question of financial transaction arises. The buyer feels insecurity in payment before purchase, and the seller feels insecurity in providing goods before he receives money. He receives money. Credit card or debit card solve this problem. The payment through the card is done in such a way that we can stop the payment after the order of payment within 7 days. These cards are important tools in e-commerce. Student, third thing that you require, that is credit card or debit card. In e-commerce, here question of financial transaction arises because the buyer feels insecurity in payment before purchase, and also the same way seller feels insecurity in providing goods before he receives money. The same thing vice versa is there. Both feels insecurity, buyer and seller. So the debit card and credit card solve this problem because in this card here one can stop payment after the order of payment within 7 days. You can stop your payment if you don't receive your goods. So debit card and credit card make the system very simple. So students, these are three requisite equipment for the successful implementation of e-commerce. First is website, second is computer with internet connectivity, and third is credit card or debit card. By these three tools or by these three equipment, you can easily done the business of e-commerce, and this answer can be asked in a 2 or 3 marks. Online transactions. There are 3 steps in online transaction. First is pre-buying or selling stage, second is conditions for buying or selling, and third delivery of goods or payment. Now in first stage, advertisement and information receiving are included here. What happen? In pre-buying or selling stage, advertisement is done by seller and buyer receives information from that advertise. In second step, conditions of buying or selling. This include price fixation and other related condition. Yes, from both side, when seller want to sell and purchaser want to purchase, at that time price fixation and other related conditions that will be discussed and go ahead. And third, delivery of goods or payment. Information flow is associated with the above stage, means in first and second stage, while in this stage includes exchange of products and money. The process becomes quick and less expensive if transaction is done online through internet. Yes, in third stage, seller sells goods and buyer make payment, and for quick and less expensive or transaction is done in online through internet. So these are 3 stage in online transactions. Question: process of online transaction from the customer's points of view. There are 3 steps customer has to follow. First is registration, second is place an order, and third payment system. So let's start with first, registration. Registration by filling in the registration form is a must for a customer who wants to purchase online. Registration means to open an online account at seller's site. Registration means to sign in for online transaction. For this, a customer needs to provide personal details like name, address, phone number, etc. A password is provided for online transaction. The account is protected by this password so that other person cannot log in this account. Students, first of all, as a customer, you have to open your account at seller's site. At seller's site, you have to give information regarding your name, address, phone number, etc. And for that, after giving this detail, one password is provided for that online transaction, and by this password and that application you can easily give order. So this is your first step. First of all, you have to register at seller site. Nowadays there are application Amazon, Flipkart, so you have to install that application in your smartphone and you have to open an account at seller's application or seller's site. Second step, place an order. We can select and put the product of our choice in shopping cart while shopping online. Shopping cart is a list of products selected by the buyer while shopping online. After preparing a list in shopping cart, an option of payment can be selected then after. Students, second thing that you have to do as a customer, you have to place an order. When you search site or application, at that time there are lots of product, and from that product, whatever product you want to purchase, that you can put in shopping cart. Shopping cart is a list of product selected by the buyer while shopping online. So from that shopping cart, at last, whatever you want to purchase, for that product you have to place an order. Now third and last, that is payment system. Payment can be made in different modes like cash on delivery, check, net banking transfer, credit card or debit card, digital cash, etc. in online shopping. Student, now in payment system, as a customer, there are lots of options for you. You can pay online money, or also you can use debit card, credit card. Also COD, cash on delivery option is better for you. So these are several types of payment in online transaction. So this is question. In this question we learn the process of online transaction from customer's point of view. As a customer, three things that you have to do. First of all, you have to register your name at seller side. Second, you have to place an order. And third, payment. This answer can be asked in 2 or 3 marks. Types of mode of payment. There are 5 types of mode of payment in online transaction. So let's start. First is cash on delivery. In short, you can say COD. In this way, customer has to make payment of money on receiving goods at his address mentioned for delivery. Very simple and nowadays very useful for customer. Customer can choose cash on delivery option whenever product reaches at doorstep of customer, then he has to pay money of that product. Second, check. Online seller can collect check from the customer. A person who buys goods issue a check to the seller. The seller dispatches goods only after the check is credited to his account. Now in check, what happen? If you have given check for the payment of that product, when the check amount is credited to seller's account, then and then seller dispatch goods to your doorstep. So in check, first of all, when check amount is credited to seller's account, then and then transaction is done. Third, net banking transfer. Banks also provide the facilities of making payment of transferring money through internet to the customer in recent time. In this process, the customer transfers necessary amount from his bank account to the account of the seller. Goods are dispatched only after the amount is transferred. So in net banking transfer, when you transfer amount to the seller's bank account, then and then here the seller dispatch goods. In net banking transfer, from your bank account, money will directly transfer to the seller's account. Nowadays, this transaction is most preferable for safety also. So this is third mode of payment in online transaction, that is net banking transfer. Fourth, credit card or debit card. These types of card are known as plastic money. Very important, that can be asked in 1 mark. Plastic money. These cards are used in large extent in online shopping. Credit card provided, bank provides facility of shopping to the card holder on his credit. An amount to be paid by customer to the online seller is paid by respective bank. Then the card holder pays this amount to the bank within the prescribed time. The cardholder gets freedom of payment by installment or at his convenience with prescribed time. Debit card holder is provided facility of online shopping up to the existing credit balance of his account as soon as online transaction is done through debit card. The same amount is debited from bank account of the card holder. Students, in chapter number 3, we have cleared the concept of credit card and debit card. Now these cards are very important at online payment or online purchase. In debit card, the amount is debited from your bank account. Whatever balance is there in your bank account, from that balance amount will be deducted. So that amount is debited and the same amount is credited to the seller's account. In credit card, on behalf of you, your bank will pay your amount, and on your account means whatever transaction you have done, that amount is credited to the seller's account, and that amount is debited to your account. After some days, bill will be generated and that amount you have to pay to the bank, because on behalf of you, your bank has paid the money. So in credit card, amount that you have to pay is paid by your bank, and in debit card, the amount is deducted from your bank balance. These two cards are very important, and that are also known as plastic money. Fifth, digital cash. This is one type of currency which exists only in the cyberspace, that is internet world. There is no physical existence or form of this type of currency, but bank provides a facility to the customer to use his real currency in electronic form. The customer has to pay the same amount of real money as digital cash to the banks. Then banks maintaining forms of e-cash send a special software to the customer. Digital cash can be received through the account of the customer. This digital fund can be used for online shopping. Students, nowadays this digital cash is very important and very familiar, because in digital cash your real currency is used as a payment in electronic form. For that, you have to install applications. Digital cash, the examples of digital cash are Google Pay, Paytm, and for that you have to apply to your bank. Bank provides you one-time password and also login ID. From that login ID and mobile PIN, you can now use this digital cash. Your money, whatever money is in your account, that money you can use as digital form, and you can pay to seller. So in digital cash, your real currency is used in an electronic form, and this digital cash is exist only and only in cyberspace, that is in internet world. So students, these are total 5 types of mode of payment in online shopping. One is cash on delivery, COD. Second is check. Third is net banking transfer. Fourth is credit card or debit card, and last is digital cash. You can use this type for online payment. Question: safety and security of transactions. First, security against risk of transactions. For the dispute among the online seller and customer, at the times the argument from the seller remains that the customer has not placed order properly. At times It may also happen that the customer has not placed order at all. The complaints like non-receipt of goods at the place mentioned or receipt of goods not complying with the required quality remains common in online transaction. To prevent this risk, verification of identity and address should be done during registration of account. Further, customers should prefer to purchase goods from reliable and well-established website only. Students, in online transaction, first problem is arise security against risk of transaction. Now what happen? Sometimes you have ordered goods but at seller's site your order cannot be properly placed, and sometime what happen, you do not give any order but order is placed on your name. Sometime for a quality of that goods, and also the goods is not properly reaches to your address. Sometimes in other place your goods reaches. So these are lots of problem. So what is the solution of that problem? To prevent this type of risk, first of all, authentic site you have to prefer, and at a time of registration verification of identity and address should be done during registration of account, and customers should prefer to purchase goods from reliable and well established website only or well established application only. So this is your first problem and solution. Problems are there, and to solve that problem you have to use authentic site or application. Second, security against risk of data collection. There are many risks related to data. Important data can be changed or stolen for the purpose of enjoyment or with selfish motive. You may be familiar with the word virus or hacking. Virus is a computer program. It creates clones or replicas that damages the data in computer system. Virus interprets on screen, prevents the computer to work. It may damage the data, files or whole system. Antivirus software is to be used to prevent this risk. Student, second problem is security against risk of data collection. In your computer, whatever data is there, that data can be affected by a virus or hacking. Your important data can be changed or stolen for the purpose of enjoyment or with selfish motive. So what is hacking? Hacking means what? Hacking means your important data can be changed or stolen for the purpose of enjoyment or with selfish motive, that is hacking. And what is virus? Virus is one computer program, but negative computer program. It creates clones or replicas, and that virus damage the data in your computer system. Sometimes virus interprets on your screen and also prevents the computers to work, and it may damage the data, files or whole system. So what is the solution of this problem? You have to install antivirus software for this problem. When you install antivirus software, that software automatically delete virus and also it prevent from hacking. So this is your second problem and solution of that problem. Third, security against intellectual property and privacy. Internet is an open platform. Once the information is placed in internet, means it becomes public. Information such as email, address, phone number, bank account number, password provided during online transaction and many more business information are required to keep confidential while dealing online. There are possibilities of misusing information. Customer must change his password periodically. Third, that is security against intellectual property and privacy. Now what happened when you use internet? Internet is an open platform, yes, and when you put something or put information, then it becomes public. When you use internet, search your personal information like email, address, phone number, bank account number. These all things keep confidential while dealing online. Sometimes there are possibility of misusing this information. So what is the solution of this problem? Customer must change his password periodically. You have to change your password after 10 days or 15 days or a week. When you change your password, hackers cannot interpret or hackers cannot misuse your information. So these are 3 steps you have to follow for your online transaction. There are 3 total problem, and for that problem there are also solutions for that. In security against risk of transaction, you have to install authentic application, and you also done transaction at established website only. In second, security against risk of data collection, you have to install antivirus software in your computer or laptop. And in third, security against intellectual property and privacy, you should change your password periodically. So this answer can be asked in 2 or 3 marks. Now last topic in this chapter, that is outsourcing. We have completed communication and e-commerce. Now last, that is outsourcing. First of all, meaning when miscellaneous work or process is handed over to other groups by business group as per contract for prescribed time, it is called outsourcing. When one company handed over some work to other business group or to other party as per contract and as per prescribed time, then that is known as outsourcing. Outsourcing is necessary to concentrate on main activities of a company. Thus, companies outsource minor activities. Besides this, some business units make outsourcing of intellectual work even though it is their core activity. Outsourcing can be done within the company or outside the company. Now, in outsourcing, देखो स्टूडेंट्स, यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि आउटसोर्सिंग के द्वारा कंपनी अपना मेन काम जो है उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा फोकस कर पाए, इसलिए कंपनी अपनी जो मिसलेनियस वर्क है उसका क्या कर देती है, आउटसोर्सिंग कर देती है। कभी कभी तो कंपनी अपनी मेन वर्क का भी क्या करती है, आउटसोर्सिंग कर देती है। तो मीनिंग में आप ध्यान रखना कि जब कोई कंपनी अपना काम किसी दूसरे ग्रुप या किसी दूसरे कंपनी को एज़ पर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अगर प्रिस्क्राइब टाइम के अंदर हैंड ओवर कर देती है तो उसको क्या बोला जाएगा, आउटसोर्सिंग बोला जाएगा। आपका काम आप नहीं करते हो, लेकिन आपने जिसको काम दिया वो दूसरा ग्रुप ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ यू वो काम करने वाला है। Concept and requirement of BPO, that is business process outsourcing. In outsourcing there are 2 types, you can say. One is BPO, that is business process outsourcing, and second is KPO, that is knowledge process outsourcing. So let's start with BPO. First concept of BPO. BPO means to get the contractual service of external company to complete special work or process of a company. ये मीनिंग है, तो लिखा है कि जहाँ पे एक कंपनी अपना काम दूसरी कंपनी को हैंड ओवर करती है, पर्टिकुलर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन किया जाता है और वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के हिसाब से दूसरी कंपनी को वो काम करके देना है। The main reason of popularization of outsourcing is that human resources for such work are available at lower rate in some countries. So the countries like India and China, who have larger population, get first preference for BPO. Now students, why BPO is more popular in India and China? Because in India and China, the labor work, or you can say the employees, are available at very nominal rate. In India and China, there are large population and they are ready to work at minimum price. So in BPO, these companies outsource their minor work to India and China. स्टूडेंट्स, यहाँ पे ध्यान रखना है आपको कि BPO ज़्यादा बढ़ने का कारण एक ही है कि सबसे पहले तो कंपनी अपना जो मेन वर्क है उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा फोकस कर पाती है, और दूसरा कंपनी का जो खर्च है वो कम हो जाता है। अगर कोई कंपनी, मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी अपने ही देश में अगर कोई काम करवाती है, फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल डेटा एंट्री का काम करवाती है या तो वो कॉल सेंटर का काम करवाती है, तो वहाँ पे क्या होगा, ज़्यादा खर्च उनको करना पड़ेगा, वहाँ पे सैलरी उनको ज़्यादा देनी पड़ेगी। लेकिन वही काम अगर इंडिया या चाइना में वो आउटसोर्स कर दे तो यहाँ पे 20-25 हज़ार में वो काम हो जाएगा। लेकिन वही काम अगर वो खुद की कंट्री में करने जाएंगे तो लाख लाख रुपया उनको सैलरी देना पड़ेगा। तो यही कारण है कि भारत और चाइना जैसे देश आउटसोर्सिंग के लिए ज़्यादा पॉपुलर होने लगे हैं। नाउ रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ BPO. BPO reduces the daily minor workload of employees of a company so they can focus on main work. There are total 5 points. First is cost cutting. Business units can reduce expenditure by outsourcing of front office work like billing, purchasing, data entry and marketing survey. Yes, to reduce your cost, you outsource your work. आप आपकी कंपनी का जो भी खर्च है उसको कम करने के लिए आप बिलिंग, परचेसिंग एक्टिविटी, डेटा एंट्री का काम, मार्केटिंग सर्वे का काम दूसरे किसी ग्रुप को आउटसोर्स कर देते हो। तो यहाँ पे रिक्वायरमेंट क्यों है, तो कॉस्ट कटिंग के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट है। सेकंड, फोकस ऑन प्रिंसिपल वर्क्स ऑफ कंपनी. Managers can specially focus to the principal works of company by outsourcing of daily work of professional unit. Yes, to focus on principal work, generally the managers, or you can say top level authority in company, उनको क्या होता है तो ज़्यादा काम होता है और उनको अपना जो मेन वर्क है उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा फोकस कर पाए, इसलिए वो क्या करते हैं तो जो माइनर वर्क है उसको क्या आउटसोर्स कर देते हैं, दूसरे किसी को वो आउटसोर्स करके दे देते हैं। तो आप आपके प्रिंसिपल वर्क के ऊपर ज़्यादा फोकस कर पाओ, इसलिए BPO की रिक्वायरमेंट है। थर्ड, बेनिफिट ऑफ एफिशिएंसी. बिजनेस कंसर्न्स कैन गेट quality work by outsourcing instead of recruiting and training employees. Here benefit of employee, benefit of efficiency. देखो यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि अगर आप किसी आदमी को आपकी कंपनी में एम्प्लॉय उसको रखो, उसके बाद मान लो कि डेटा एंट्री के लिए, अब डेटा एंट्री के लिए आपने किसी आदमी को रखा, डेटा एंट्री का काम उसको सिखाया, उसके बाद उसने काम सही किया या नहीं किया उसके लिए आपने एक आदमी को वॉच रखने के लिए बोला, उसको अच्छे से ट्रेनिंग भी दिया। ये सब करने से अच्छा है कि जो आदमी पिछले 5 या 10 साल से आउटसोर्सिंग का काम या तो डेटा एंट्री का काम अच्छी तरह से करता है, उसको ये काम दे दिया जाए तो उसकी एफिशिएंसी का बेनिफिट कंपनी को मिल जाएगा। आप नए एम्प्लॉय को रखो, उसको काम सिखाओ, बाद में उसने गलती की या नहीं की उसके पीछे आप काम करो। इससे अच्छा है कि जो आदमी काम कर रहा है उसको ही जो काम दे दिया जाए डेटा एंट्री का, तो वो अच्छी तरह से आपको कम टाइम में और कम पैसे में वो करके दे देगा। तो यहाँ पे किसी की एफिशिएंसी का बेनिफिट मिले, इसलिए BPO की रिक्वायरमेंट है। फोर्थ, कैटर द डायनेमिक डिमांड। BPO कंपनीज प्रोवाइड फैसिलिटीज to cater the changing demands of the customer. Dynamic demand, you know very well, demand is not stable. Demand कभी stable नहीं होती है. Sometimes it will go and sometimes it will down. वो कभी बढ़ भी सकती है, कभी डाउन भी हो सकती है. तो यहाँ पे जब डिमांड बढ़ती है तो आप क्या करोगे? काम करने के लिए जो ज़्यादा काम आ गया है, अगर डिमांड बढ़ गई है, ज़्यादा वर्कलोड आ गया है, तो आप क्या करोगे? वो ज़्यादा वर्कलोड है वो दूसरे किसी फर्म को आउटसोर्स के द्वारा उसको काम पूरा करवा दोगे. तो यहाँ पे जब डिमांड बढ़ती है तो वो डिमांड को कैटर करने के लिए भी BPO की रिक्वायरमेंट है. एंड लास्ट, इंक्रीज इन प्रॉफिट. बिजनेस यूनिट्स कैन आउटसोर्स देयर सब्सिडरी फंक्शंस एंड पे मोर attention towards the main functions like increase in sale, development of new products, expansion of business, and satisfy the customer. As a result, profit of the business unit increases. Very, very important, that is increase in profit. To increase in your profit, you require BPO because, as we discussed earlier, like India and China, employees are available at very reasonable price, at reasonable salary. So company can outsource their work and they earn more profit. यहाँ पे क्या होता है, तो आप आपके प्रॉफिट को बढ़ाने के लिए आउटसोर्स कर देते हो. तो ये 5 अलग अलग पॉइंट थे रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ BPO के. फर्स्ट इज़ कॉस्ट कटिंग, सेकेंड फोकस ऑन प्रिंसिपल वर्क ऑफ कंपनी, थर्ड बेनिफिट ऑफ एफिशिएंसी, फोर्थ कैटर द डायनेमिक डिमांड एंड लास्ट इंक्रीज इन प्रॉफिट. 2 या 3 मार्क में सिर्फ रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ BPO पूछ सकते हैं और पूरा आंसर कॉन्सेप्ट एंड रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ BPO भी 2 या 3 मार्क में आपको पूछा जा सकता है. कॉन्सेप्ट एंड रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ KPO, that is knowledge process outsourcing. In outsourcing there are 2 types. One is BPO, that is business process outsourcing, and second is KPO, that is knowledge process outsourcing. So first of all, concept of KPO. KPO means outsourcing of knowledge based process. BPO is work oriented while KPO is knowledge oriented. This is very important. In BPO, generally work oriented work is done, and in KPO, knowledge oriented work is done. Processes related to works are focused in BPO, while processes related to knowledge are focused in concept of KPO. KPO includes process which expect advanced knowledge and skills that are responsible for the development of the company. Students, KPO में क्या होता है? तो नॉलेज प्रोसेस आउटसोर्सिंग. जिस काम के लिए ज़्यादा नॉलेज या तो स्किल की रिक्वायरमेंट है, ऐसा काम कंपनी दूसरे किसी एक्सपर्ट से करवा लेती है. BPO के अंदर क्या होता था, तो जनरली वर्क के ऊपर ज़्यादा फोकस किया जाता था और जनरली जो फिज़िकल वर्क होता है उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा फोकस किया जाता है बिजनेस प्रोसेस आउटसोर्सिंग के अंदर. लेकिन KPO के अंदर क्या होता है, नॉलेज बेस, प्योरली जिसके पास ज़्यादा स्किल है, अच्छा नॉलेज है, वैसे आदमी को कंपनी हायर करेगी और उससे अपना काम करवाती है. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, फॉर एनिमेशन एंड डिज़ाइन. अब एनिमेशन और डिज़ाइन के लिए कंपनी कोई एम्प्लॉय को रखने वाली नहीं है. जिसको अच्छा एनिमेशन या तो डिज़ाइन का काम अच्छी तरह से आता है, उसको वो काम आउटसोर्स कर दिया जाएगा. द सेम वे सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल इज़ लीगल सर्विसेज. कंपनी को लीगल सर्विसेज चाहिए. अगर कंपनी को लीगल सर्विसेज चाहिए तो कंपनी कोई लॉयर को जॉब नहीं देने वाली है. लेकिन जब लीगल सर्विसेज चाहिए तो सीधा लॉयर से बात किया जाएगा और जो प्रॉब्लम्स है उसका सॉल्यूशन लाया जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे नॉलेज प्रोसेस आउटसोर्सिंग में क्या होता है कि किसी का नॉलेज आप हायर करते हो और उससे जो भी आप उसकी जो भी बातें हैं उसको बता के उसका सॉल्यूशन उससे आप ले लेते हो. तो ऐसे काम हो जाता है. Now requirement of KPO. First, achievement of the best skills. An institution providing service of KPO possesses advanced skill on account of investing heavily in human resources and their training. As a result, business unit gets its advantages at minimum cost. KPO provides the best result by maximum investment in techniques, human resources, and systematic method. They have achieved advanced expertise while experience of work. This proficiency of skills gives maximum benefit to the business units with, with minimum investment. फर्स्ट दैट इज़ अचीवमेंट ऑफ बेस्ट स्किल. देखो यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि कोई ऐसा बिजनेस यूनिट जिसको ऐसे एक्सपर्ट की रिक्वायरमेंट है वो क्या करेंगे, तो ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूशन से बात किया जाएगा तो जहाँ पे ऑलरेडी ऐसे एक्सपर्ट होते हैं और वही एक्सपर्ट सीधा आपकी जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स है उसका सॉल्यूशन आपको दे देंगे. तो यहाँ पे आपको किसी की बेस्ट स्किल चाहिए तो उसके लिए आपको किसकी ज़रूरत है, केपीओ की रिक्वायरमेंट है. सेकंड, मैक्सिमम यूज़ ऑफ सोर्सेज. अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेज आर लिमिटेड इन ऑल बिजनेस यूनिट्स. ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज ऑफ यूनिट्स बिकम फ्री बिकॉज ऑफ आउटसोर्सिंग. They can be used in customer oriented activities. Yes, company can use their human resources in other work. Now what happen when you outsource your work, your human resources becomes free. जब कंपनी किसी काम का आउटसोर्स कर देती है तो उसके खुद के एम्प्लॉय फ्री हो जाते हैं, और जब खुद के एम्प्लॉय के पास वक्त हो जाता है, उनके पास जब टाइम होता है, तो वो कस्टमर ओरिएंटेड एक्टिविटी के पीछे ज़्यादा फोकस कर पाते हैं. तो आप आपके मैक्सिमम रिसोर्सेज का यूज़ कर पाओ उसके लिए भी नॉलेज प्रोसेस आउटसोर्सिंग का रिक्वायरमेंट है. थर्ड, सॉल्यूशन ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम्स. सम कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम्स विच रिक्वायर्ड एडवांस टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टाइज कैन बी सॉल्व easily because of outsourcing. Yes, you can solve your complex problem and you can solve problems like you can say which cannot be solved by you. ऐसे बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम हो जाते हैं जहाँ पे आप कुछ नहीं कर पाते हो तो आप किसी दूसरे एक्सपर्ट से बात करते हो और उसका सॉल्यूशन किया जाता है. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, रिसर्च बेस्ड कोई कंपनी है, अब रिसर्च के अंदर उसको कुछ सक्सेस नहीं मिलता है तो वो क्या करेंगे, दूसरे किसी एक्सपर्ट से पूछा जाएगा और जो भी प्रॉब्लम है उसका सॉल्यूशन लाया जाएगा और बाद में रिसर्च के अंदर उनको सक्सेस मिलता है. तो अगर आपको ऐसे कोई भी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम है उसका सॉल्यूशन लाना है तो भी नॉलेज प्रोसेस आउटसोर्सिंग की रिक्वायरमेंट होने वाली है. फोर्थ, स्पेशल अटेंशन टू प्रिंसिपल फंक्शंस. Business units can pay special attention to their principal function with the help of outsourcing. Example, if a school prefers to outsource works like computer education, canteen facility, stationery facility, then it can pay more attention to its principal work of imparting education. Students, this is common, you can point in KPO and also BPO. You can focus on your principal function. Here example of school is there. अब स्कूल में क्या होता है आपको अच्छी तरह से पता है, स्कूल के अंदर मेन काम पढ़ाना होता है. अब जब स्कूल अपने बाकी जो काम है, फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल जो ये कंप्यूटर का एजुकेशन देना है या तो कोई कैंटीन फैसिलिटी या तो कोई स्टेशनरी की बात है, अगर वो सब काम किसी ग्रुप को दे दिया जाएगा तो स्कूल अपना जो मेन फंक्शन है बच्चों को अच्छी तरह से पढ़ाना, वो काम अच्छी तरह से किया जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे केपीओ की रिक्वायरमेंट क्यों है, यहाँ पे आप आपके जो मेन फंक्शन है, स्पेशल अटेंशन है, जो प्रिंसिपल फंक्शन है उसके ऊपर आप स्पेशल अटेंशन दे पाओ, इसलिए केपीओ की रिक्वायरमेंट है. देन फिफ्थ, मैक्सिमम यूज़ ऑफ मनी. इफ आउटसोर्सिंग ऑफ सम फंक्शंस इज प्रिफर्ड in business units, then it is not required to invest its capital for these functions. As a result, business unit can use its capital for maximum business development. देखो क्या होता है कि अगर आपने आउटसोर्सिंग कर दिया है तो आपका पैसा बचने वाला है, और आपका पैसा जो बच गया वो पैसा आप अच्छी तरह से कंपनी के जो इम्पोर्टेंट वर्क है उसके अंदर यूटिलाइज कर पाते हो। तो यहाँ पे टू यूज़ योर मैक्सिमम मनी यू रिक्वायर्ड KPO. एंड लास्ट दैट इज रिडक्शन ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर. Decrease in expenses is one of the principal reasons of popularization of outsourcing. Expenses of business units are reduced by doing outsourcing of functions like marketing process and research and development of company. This is very very important requirement of KPO, reduction of expenditure. आपको अगर खर्च कम करना है तो KPO चाहिए ही चाहिए. KPO के द्वारा आप जो भी खर्च है वो कम कर पाते हो, क्योंकि सिंपल एक एग्जांपल है, अगर आपको लीगल सर्विसेज चाहिए और अगर आप लीगल सर्विस चाहिए या तो मेडिकल सर्विस चाहिए, अगर आप आपकी कंपनी के अंदर डॉक्टर या तो लॉयर को पूरे महीने की सैलरी दोगे तो आपको महंगा पड़ जाएगा. लेकिन अगर आपको जब भी डॉक्टर या तो लॉयर की सर्विस चाहिए तो उनसे कंसल्ट करके अगर उनकी सर्विस आप ले लोगे तो आपके लिए बहुत क्या हो जाएगा, फ़ायदेमंद हो जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे रिडक्शन टू रिड्यूस योर एक्सपेंडिचर यू रिक्वायर्ड KPO. स्टूडेंट्स, ये 6 अलग अलग पॉइंट थे जिसके द्वारा KPO की रिक्वायरमेंट आपको पता चलती है. देखो, BPO और KPO दोनों के अंदर 3 बातें आप कॉमन लिख सकते हो. फर्स्ट, टू रिड्यूस एक्सपेंडिचर. KPO किया जाए या BPO किया जाए, आपका खर्च कम होने वाला है. सो आप ये दोनों में लिख सकते हो, ये कॉमन पॉइंट है. फर्स्ट, टू रिड्यूस expenses. Second, you can focus on your principal function or you special attention to principal function. And last, increase in profit. अगर खर्चा कम होगा तो सीधी बात है प्रॉफिट बढ़ने वाला है. तो ये 3 पॉइंट कॉमन है जो आप KPO में भी लिख सकते हो और BPO में भी लिख सकते हो. तो आउटसोर्सिंग के अंदर हमने क्या पढ़ा? इन आउटसोर्सिंग फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव कंप्लीटेड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ आउटसोर्सिंग. देन there are 2 types of outsourcing. One is BPO and second is KPO. So at the end of chapter, यहाँ पे चैप्टर ख़त्म होता है. हमने कम्युनिकेशन पढ़ लिया, ई-कॉमर्स पढ़ लिया और आउटसोर्सिंग भी पढ़ लिया. अब ये चैप्टर के अंदर कुछ भी बाकी नहीं रहता है. इन नेक्स्ट वीडियो लेक्चर, नए वीडियो लेक्चर के अंदर हम चैप्टर नंबर 5 से शुरू करेंगे. तब तक के लिए जय श्री कृष्ण एंड गुड बाय to all of you.